Look, if you're a parent of an autistic kid and you're already counting down the days of summer break, and summer break hasn't even started yet, I want to tell you something. You're not failing. You're not a bad parent. You're not weak. You're tired. And there's a reason you're tired that nobody talks about. Summer for autism families is genuinely one of the hardest seasons of the year. Harder than the holidays, in a lot of ways. And the school year doesn't tell you why. Nobody warns you. You just get to the last week of school, and instead of feeling relief, you feel this little knot in your stomach. Like, oh no, 2 months. Just me and the kid. No structure, no teachers, no therapists on a schedule. Just us. If that's you, I see you. And I want you to stay with me for the next 10 minutes or so, because I'm going to walk you through 7 things that real autism families, including ones I've spoken with, actually use to get through summer without falling apart. These aren't life hacks. They're not a Pinterest checklist. They're real strategies, grounded in real science, designed for real families. Pick one. Just one. Try it this week. If it works, add another next week. That's it. Quick note before we start. Everything in this video is educational. I'm not your kid's doctor, and I'm not your therapist. What I am is somebody who reads the research, talks to autistic adults, and tries to translate it into language that actually helps. Okay, let's go. Before I give you the strategies, I have to explain why summer is hard. Because if you don't understand the why, the strategies feel like more chores. And you don't need more chores. You need a reason. Here's the thing. The school year, for an autistic kid, is basically an invisible skeleton. You don't see it, but it's holding everything up. Wake up at the same time, same breakfast routine, same bus, same classroom smell, same teacher's voice, same hallway, same lunch tray, same bell. Their nervous system knows what's coming next every 15 minutes for 10 months straight. And then June hits, and that skeleton just disappears. Now imagine you're a kid whose brain is wired to need that predictability the way you and I need oxygen. Suddenly the floor is gone, and the nervous system starts scrambling, looking for structure that isn't there anymore. That's not bad behavior. That's not your kid being difficult on purpose. That's a neurological event. The Autism Society has been talking about this for years. Predictability isn't a comfort, it's a regulation tool, just as essential as sleep. So when your kid melts down on day 3 of summer break over something tiny, a snack being the wrong color or a sock being too tight, what you're seeing is not a tantrum. You're seeing a nervous system that lost its scaffolding and is asking, in the loudest way it knows, for that scaffolding to come back. You're not raising a bad kid. You're raising a kid whose brain is screaming for structure. Big difference. And the good news is, we can rebuild some of that scaffolding. Not all of it, you're not a school, but enough. Let's get into how. Strategy 1, visual structure without rigidity. I want you to forget the Pinterest version of a routine board, the color-coded, laminated hourly schedule that looks like a NASA control room. That's not what we're doing. That's the version that breaks the second real life happens, and then you feel like a failure for not keeping up with it. Skip it. Here's what actually works. Big blocks. Morning, afternoon, evening. That's it. 3 zones a day. Each zone gets 2 or 3 pictures. Not words, pictures, even if your kid reads. Because pictures process faster than words, especially when the nervous system is already overloaded. Morning might be a picture of cereal, a picture of teeth being brushed, a picture of the park. Afternoon, lunch, quiet time, screen time. Evening, dinner, bath, bed. Done. That's the whole board. 5 minutes to make. Tape it to the fridge. And here's the trick almost nobody uses. Put a block called surprise on there, with a question mark icon. Sounds counterintuitive, right? You're telling your kid the surprise is coming. The National Professional Development Center on Autism lists visual supports as an evidence-based practice. And this is one of the reasons why. When the unexpected has its own labeled spot on the board, the unexpected stops being a threat. It becomes part of the structure. Quick question for the comments, and I really want to hear this one. If you've got a visual schedule that's been working for your family, what's on it? What's the one block that surprised you by working? Drop it below. Other parents are reading these threads, and your weird little system might be exactly what somebody else needs to see this week. Strategy 2. Sensory-proof your summer. Okay, so here's what I want you to do this weekend. Sit down, grab a piece of paper, and list every event you know is coming in the next 8 weeks. Pool day, cousin's birthday party, grandma's house, fireworks on the 4th, road trip, whatever's on the calendar, write it down. Now, next to each one, write the sensory load. Loud, crowded, hot, unfamiliar smells, bright lights, just 1 or 2 words per event. That list, that little messy list, is your sensory map for the summer. And now your job is simple. For each event with a heavy sensory load, you pack one tool that helps. Noise attenuating earplugs, the kind that don't block sound completely but dampen it. You've probably seen brands like Loop, that category. Headphones for the really loud stuff. Sunglasses for outdoor brightness. A familiar fidget that lives in your bag, not a new one. A small soft blanket in the car for after. And here's the reframe I want you to internalize, because it'll change conversations with your in-laws. Sensory tools are not crutches, they're not babying, they're accommodations. Same exact logic as glasses for somebody who's nearsighted. Nobody says your kid is being weak for wearing glasses. It's the same thing. The American Academy of Pediatrics has published guidance on sensory integration, and while the field has its debates, the underlying point holds. Different nervous systems need different tools to access the same environments. Real talk question, what's a sensory tool that quietly saved your family this past year? Earplugs in church, a specific fidget in the car, a hoodie for the grocery store. I want to build a list in the comments. Other parents are going to thank you. Strategy 3, and this one I want you to lean in for. This is the most important idea in the whole video, the low demand summer. Here's the framework. Your kid spent 10 months in high demand. Sit still, be quiet, make eye contact. Switch tasks, tolerate noise, mask, comply. Their nervous system has been running hot since August. Summer is not the time to add new demands. Summer is the time to subtract them. Low demand doesn't mean no rules. It doesn't mean letting your kid eat candy for breakfast and watch screens for 12 hours. It means you look at the demands you're placing on this child every day, and you ask, honestly, which of these does my kid actually need this summer? And which am I doing out of habit or guilt or fear of what someone else will think? Reframing Autism, an Australian organization led by autistic adults, has written extensively about this. The PDA Society in the UK has more if your kid has a demand-avoidant profile. The signs you need a low-demand summer are usually obvious in hindsight. Bigger meltdowns, more shutdowns, skills your kid had in May that seem to have disappeared in July. That's the nervous system asking for less, not more. Real quick, because this framework is one of the things parents tell us changed everything for their family. If you want the full version of this, the decision tree, the scripts, the templates, the deeper science, we built an ebook bundle that goes into all of it. 8 guides, identity first, peer-reviewed, instant PDF. Link is in the description if you want to look. If not, no pressure. Stay right here, we're not done. Strategy 4. Family gatherings without sacrificing your kid's regulation or your sanity. Okay, this one. This is where most parents I talk to feel the most judged. The cookout, the reunion, the birthday party where Aunt Susan is going to look at you sideways the second your kid asks for headphones. Let's prep you for it. 3 questions to ask your host before you go. 1. Is there a quiet room my kid can escape to if he needs it? 2. Is the arrival time flexible if we hit traffic or have a hard morning? 3. Can I bring a plate my kid will actually eat, or is the food situation locked in? If the host is family, they should be able to answer yes to all 3 without drama. If they can't, that's data about whether this is the right event this year. And here's a script. Memorize this. When your kid steps away from the group, or sits in the corner, or doesn't want to hug grandpa, and somebody, and you know who I mean, says, he's being rude, you say calmly, he's not being rude, he's regulating, he'll join us in 10 minutes when he's ready. That's it. You don't explain autism, you don't apologize, you don't defend, you state the fact, and you move on. And when Aunt Susan inevitably says you're spoiling him, try this one. What looks like spoiling is actually accommodating a real neurological need, same as I'd accommodate diabetes. Then change the subject. You're not there to educate Aunt Susan, you're there to keep your kid regulated and get home alive. Honestly, I'd love to hear your best family gathering survival story in the comments. The funny ones, the wins, what worked, Let's build a thread of real wins, not horror stories. Strategy 5. Stims, special interests, and the screen time guilt spiral. I'm going to say something the parenting internet is not going to like. Stimming is not a problem. Stimming is a solution your kid found, on their own, without anybody teaching them, to regulate a nervous system that the world keeps overloading. Hand flapping, rocking, humming, spinning, whatever it is, that is a coping skill. Treat it with the same respect you'd treat any other coping skill. Autistic adults, I'm talking thousands of them online, in books, in research interviews, say the same thing over and over. The stims were what got me through. The stims were the only thing that worked when I was little, and the people who tried to suppress them did the most damage. Devin Price, Eric Garcia, Janara Narenberg. The literature is consistent. Don't suppress stimming. Make it safer if you need to. Give your kid a quiet space to do it, but don't suppress it. Same goes for special interests. That obsession with dinosaurs or trains or a single Pixar movie watched on loop. That's not a problem. That's a refuge. Summer is the perfect time to lean into it. Library books on the topic, a documentary, a trip to a museum that connects. You're not indulging, you're feeding a regulation strategy. And now, screen time. Okay, look, I know the headlines, I know the guilt, but here's the nuance. There's a difference between passive screen, where your kid is zoning out for hours, and self-regulatory screen, where your kid is rewatching a favorite show because the predictability is calming a nervous system. They are not the same thing. Stop counting hours. Start watching the function. If the screen is helping your kid come down from overload, that's not failure. That's a tool. Strategy 6. Travel and transitions. If you're traveling this summer, congrats on being brave. Here's how to make it less of a war. Show your kid pictures of where you're going. 2 weeks out, not the night before. The hotel lobby, the pool, the grandma's house living room. Pull up Google Street View. Make it familiar before it's real. The nervous system loves a preview. Pack 2 or 3 sensory anchors. The pillow from home, the same water bottle, the same blanket. Whatever object lives in your house and travels with you in every situation. That's the regulation anchor. Airports. Look up TSA Cares. It's a real program, free, run by the Transportation Security Administration, and almost no parent I talk to has ever heard of it. You call them 72 hours before your flight. You explain that your kid has sensory needs, and they assign you a passenger support specialist who walks you through security in a quieter line, at your pace, without the chaos. Game changer. TSA Cares. Write it down. Driving instead? Plan stops every 90 minutes. Minimum. Even if your kid seems fine, the accumulation matters. Pack a dedicated sensory kit for the car, separate from the suitcase. Hotel? Request a room away from elevators and ice machines. Put the Do Not Disturb sign up the second you check in and leave it there for the whole stay. And here's the permission I want to give you. Skipping summer travel 1 year, just staying home, doing low-key day trips, is not failing your family. That's reading your family. There's no medal for the most ambitious vacation. The medal is everyone coming back regulated. Question: for the parents who've nailed a tough trip this year or last, what was the one thing that made it work? One sentence. Let's gather some real wisdom in the comments. Strategy 7, and I saved this one for last on purpose because almost nobody talks about it. Protect your own nervous system. Look at me for this part. Parents of autistic kids have measurably higher rates of burnout, anxiety, and chronic stress than parents of neurotypical kids. That's not a personal failing. That's load. You are carrying a load that most people in your life don't even see. The research on autistic burnout, Gonzalez and colleagues published a key paper in 2024, shows the pattern clearly, and that pattern extends to caregivers who live inside the same demand environment day after day. 3 things. Just 3. 1. Trade-off blocks. 90 minutes of you alone, 3 times a week. Not negotiable. Partner takes the kid, or grandma, or a sitter, or you put on a favorite show and lock the bathroom door. 90 minutes, 3 times a week. Write it on the calendar. Defend it like it's a doctor's appointment, because it kind of is. 2. Decompression buffer. Every time you come home from a social event, give yourself 30 minutes alone before you have to interact with anybody, including your kid, if humanly possible. Hand them off to your partner, put on headphones, sit in the car in the driveway. 30 minutes. You are not a robot. You also need recovery time, especially if you yourself are autistic, and a lot of you watching are, even if you haven't named it yet. 3. Permission to be mediocre. Your summer does not need to be Pinterest. It needs to be sustainable. A regulated, mediocre summer beats a beautiful, burned-out one. Every single time. Take the win. All right, let's land this. 7 strategies. Quick recap in the order I gave them. Visual structure with big blocks, not rigid hours. Sensory tools mapped to your summer calendar. The low-demand summer as a framework, not permissiveness. A script for family gatherings that protects your kid. Stims and special interests as regulation, not problems. Travel with preparation and permission to not travel. And protecting your own nervous system as non-negotiable. You don't need all 7. Pick one. Try it this week. If it works, add another next week. That's how this actually happens in real families. Not a transformation, a drift in the right direction. If you want all 7 of these, plus the deeper frameworks, sensory mapping templates, family script library, low-demand decision tree, the visual schedule examples, that's exactly what the ebook bundle in the description is built for. 8 guides, over 160 pages, identity first, peer-reviewed, instant PDF, 30-day guarantee. If it's useful to you, it's there. If it's not, you've still got everything from this video. Either way, you're set. And if this helped, hit subscribe. We do this every week. Evidence over noise. No fear-mongering, no Pinterest pressure, no fixing your kid. Just tools, real ones, that respect both you and the kid you love. Everything you heard today is educational, not medical advice. Talk to your kid's care team about what fits your specific family. One last thing. Look, your kid does not need a perfect summer. They need a regulated one. With the parent they already love, which is you. You already have the most important ingredient. The rest we can figure out together. This has been the Autism Lab. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'll see you next week.